Well, guys, we made it. Welcome to the Sound Advice podcast.
We are here.
I'm Joel. This is Mike.
How you doing, guys?
We are glad to be here with you. We've been teasing this for quite a while now, a little over a month. And this is the first official podcast for Sound Advice. We're happy to be here. We're excited for what's to come. We have a lot of things planned, a lot of exciting guests we're going to have on, and just a lot of great advice we want to share with you. And we're looking forward to that.
Absolutely, and I can't even believe we're here.
Yeah,
this is it. You know, we've talked about this for a long time.
This has been talked about for I feel like years.
I had this idea a long time ago, just to take the experiences that I have had over the years, and to be able to share that with newly engaged couples and help them with the planning process along the way, because that really is. It can be very stressful, and a lot of anxiety can come with it, and you don't need either one of those, especially when you're planning for the biggest and best day of your life.
Right. And I want to say thank you to all the people who have seen that we're doing this and all the encouragement we've gotten. You know, just a lot of people in the industry, a lot of brides that we both have booked as DJs in the industry. They've seen what we've got coming, and we've just gotten so much encouragement and support that people are looking forward to this. So we're glad you guys are excited about it. We are going to be, like I said, given our advice from 50 years, so we figured.
Yep.
About 50 years combined experience in the industry. We've seen it all. We've been around the block many times, and we are really excited to take all the good things we've learned and all the advice we have and share some bad stories, help you be able to avoid those, hopefully. We're going to have fun along the way. We're going to have guest vendors in. We're going to have past brides come in. We're going to be sipping some whiskey or bourbon every week. And cheers to Advice. Finally here. And we're going to be sharing some of our favorites this week. Fireweed. This is from Glacier Distilling Company in Montana.
It's delicious.
And this is, if you ever get up to Montana, I can't remember the exact town it was in, but Glacier Distilling. The only place you can get it is in Montana. Fireweed.
Delicious.
There you go. That's this week's.
Absolutely.
So, this week's favorite whiskey.
You know, getting back to what you just touched on a minute ago with all the experience. When I was first started doing weddings in the late 80s, early 90s, people were getting married in churches, and then they would go downstairs to the basement or to a building off to the side of the church, typically, for cake, peanuts, and punch. And we'd have a microphone set up for persons to do toast or whatever was going to go on with that.
Just bring the tink on the glass.
Yeah, exactly.
Stand up and yell real loud.
And usually dinner was not incorporated with it. It was just more of a social after the wedding type of thing. They've had, of course, the first dance, father, daughter, mother, son. That's been going on for years and years. But the whole reception piece of it has evolved tremendously in the last 34 years that I've been doing this. And one of the things that I want to talk about first and foremost in tonight's episode, what I'm hearing lately meaning in the last few years, when I do my final consultations with my couples, I'm going to say 9 out of 10 of them start the conversation out that last week when we're sitting down going through all the planning and everything, is they're ready for this to be over. And and I'm just hoping that it's the planning process that they're waiting to be or hoping to be over versus the whole day. Because, guys, seriously, the whole planning process of your wedding should be as exciting from day one as it is the day of the event. You are doing things that you will never, ever do again in your life. And you need to focus on those things. And the minute that you start feeling some anxiety or stress or like, oh my gosh, I just worked all day and now we've got to go do a tasting tonight, stop for a second, take a breath, and realize that this is the only time that you're ever going to do. You don't get to do a wedding day over. This is something that is once in a lifetime. You can't redo this, and it's just once in a lifetime thing.
One thing I will say about the stress that can come with this, one big piece of advice, honestly, for couples, especially the brides. The brides are the ones that tend to get more stressed, not so much the grooms. Maybe they should, if they got a little more involved sometimes, maybe they'd share that stress.
That's very true.
Lean in on your vendors. If you have hired vendors, this is one thing we're going to talk about is prioritizing vendors. We're going to talk about prioritizing your budget when you're selecting vendors, but lean in on those vendors. That's what they're there for. I know for me, it's something where I tell my brides, anything you need, anytime, shoot me an email, shoot me a text. I'm not always going to reply. I'm not saying, you can bother me on Sunday morning when I'm in church or when I'm on a date night with my wife. But if I get a text or an email, I'm going to get back to you as soon as I can. And if there's a problem, if you're stressed about something, hey, let's jump on a phone call. We're going to talk. I'm going to talk you through this. Many times a simple email explaining things or a quick conversation talks a bride off the ledge when she's just about to lose her mind. And she said many times, thank you. I feel so much better just having been able to talk about this. That's what we as DJs are here for. That's what your planner should be there for, your photographers, anything you're stressing about for any different area, lean in on your vendors. That's what they're for.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And one other thing too, that Joel and I have one thing in common, that when I first met him, it resonated with me more than anything. And it's the fact of the passion that we share for this business and what honor it is and privilege it is to be a part of someone's biggest and most important day of their life. There are a lot of people, vendors as such, that we don't believe share that same passion.
Yeah.
It's like I said, guys, this is a one and done. We can't redo it. You're going to have to. There's a lot of planning involved. There's going to be days where it's going to seem like a little bit overwhelming, but always just lean back on the fact of what's the most important part of this day, and that is the ring. 100%. Okay, all of the other stuff that all the facets that are involved with planning, everything from your catering to your flowers to your DJ to all of these things have to come into place. We get that. But at the end of the day, the only thing that matters, the 100%, the only thing that matters is that you are now married, you're one person. Yeah. And that's one thing I have definitely seen over the course of the years that I've done this, that has become detached. More and more people in today's world, and social media is a huge cause of this, I believe, because they see all of these, the celebrities and the people that are doing things on the East Coast and the West Coast that maybe aren't as popular here in the Midwest. They want to incorporate all that stuff, but they have a budget, and we're going to talk about that in a second. The budget, there again, is it has to be stuck to. When you come up with a number, you can't sway away from that. And you're going to see things that you're going to want to incorporate that could blow that budget. Yeah. You've got to keep grounded with it.
Or you can find things you want to keep, and you got to figure out how to adjust that budget. Mm-hmm. And that's one of my big things. We're not going to be spending this episode really diving into the advice portion of it that we're going to be doing for most of them. But we do have a few suggestions, and there are some big ones. And I think one of the biggest, we're going to talk about prioritizing vendors at some point, which vendors you should pick first. Obviously, I think the DJs are pretty high on that list, but
of course you do.
Of course I do too. Here's the thing: prioritizing your budget for those vendors. Mm-hmm. I have seen countless times where a bride has come to me and she wants to use our service, and we're out of her budget, and the reason she gives is, well, we can't really afford that. We went over budget on our flowers. Mm-hmm. We went over budget on our place settings or our centerpieces, or the dinner, the cake. All very important things. Don't get me wrong. I am not bashing any of that. A beautiful wedding. The thing that I think is most important, probably a tie, is your photographer and your DJ. Your DJ is going to give you the party for the whole night. People will be talking about your party years down the road. Yep. We know from firsthand experience when we have people reaching out to us saying, hey, you did my other daughter's wedding, or you did my sister's wedding 10 years ago. Mm-hmm. We still talk about how much fun we had. People remember that. Mm-hmm. The photos, you're going to be looking at those the rest of your life. Your wedding photo is going to be over your mantle when you're old and gray. Yep. So That's why I say photo, DJ, two very important things, but yet people cut corners because they don't prioritize their budget of when they, how much you're going to put where. They say, here's our budget, let's look at flowers. Yep. And they spend X amount, and they spend X amount on a cake, and they realize, well, shoot, we're really into our budget. We can't afford the DJ we want or the photographer we want. So prioritize your budget.
Absolutely. And the one good thing that people today can benefit from, I know I said earlier that the social media has become kind of a derogatory thing.
It's also a good thing.
But it is a good thing. And that's what I'm going to talk about with this is, 15 years ago, 20 years ago, people were looking for vendors. They couldn't go online and read reviews or anything like that. And reviews are key, folks. You have to do your due diligence and read those reviews. They speak volumes, especially if you don't have a sibling or a friend or anybody that's been married. Even in the last 3 or 4 years, things have changed so much. So it's always important to get online, read the reviews, do that due diligence, and that's a great way to...
I'll do you one better than even going online. Yes, online reviews are great. Not on the individual vendor's website, because as a vendor, I can pick and choose the best reviews, put them on my website. They're not the actual reviews. You want to go to Wedding Wire and The Knot and all these different places. Google, Yelp, all of them.
All of them.
And read reviews that a vendor can't. I'll be on full transparency. I've got some couple of bad reviews out of hundreds and hundreds. You can find them on there, but I can't do anything about them. They're there. Yep. It is what it is. So those are more honest. Here's one of the better things to do when you're picking vendors. When you have a venue, you love your venue, you love your venue coordinator, ask them. Say, who are some of your favorite DJs you've had out here? Who are some of the good ones? Who are your favorite photographers? Yep. They'll tell you. Because a venue doesn't want a horrible DJ out there. Yep. They're going to tell you, oh, these guys, here's a handful that we love. Right. They do a great job.
Yep, because it makes them look good too.
If you know your photographer, maybe you've done an engagement shoot with your photographer. So you've already got that relationship. Say, hey, you've worked with a lot of DJs. Who are the good ones? Who are the ones I should stay away from? They'll be honest with you.
They'll be honest with you.
So lean in on all your vendors for a lot of different areas. So that's kind of, I think that's...
guys, that we kind of just wanted to, this very first episode, kind of just put out there what our thoughts are on the day, which, as I talked about, the importance of the day being the vows, never lose focus of that. Of course, the party and the food and everything else that's going to happen, and it's going to be fantastic. But there again, the next day when you wake up, when you look at this ring and no one else is around, that's when you're going to realize, wow, it's real. Yep. And we did it for all the right reasons. Yeah. So the rest of these podcasts, they're all going to be informative, but more fun than a little bit. This one was a little bit more serious tonight, but there again, we just wanted to kind of just put that out there. That's our feeling. That's what our passion with this. That's why we're doing this channel, is to help and guide and give advice to newly engaged couples, people who are in the process already, or you may know somebody that's getting married. You can share that with them, and we want to make this. We just want to blow this thing up so everybody can take advantage of it.
It is going to be fun. Like I said, we're going to have guests on. We're going to be filming this on location at different venues in the area, and we know many of you watching might not be from our hometown. We're in Indianapolis, Indiana. We're not trying to push certain venues for our brides. Yes. We're trying to get with venues to give advice about selecting your venue, about different things, which is across the board. Doesn't have to be locally here, but we're going to have some fun with that, being on location at different places.
Absolutely. Yep. Well, guys, congratulations on your recent engagement. If you did recently get engaged, if you're in the process and you have struggles with anything, reach out to us. That's what we're here for. We are here to answer questions, and if we don't know the answer to the question, which we're not going to know everything, but we will guide you and put you in the place to get that answer that you need. So,
and to say what everybody on YouTube has to say, make sure you like this page, like this channel, subscribe, leave a comment below. If you have something you liked what we said, you disagree with, you have a question about, leave a comment below. Look us up on Instagram. You can find us there. Shoot us a message. And on Spotify, we're going to be, this will be YouTube and also a regular podcast if you're not able to sit and watch us. Some people like to look at us, others don't. We get it.
That's right.
It's fine. But,
cheers.
Cheers to more sound advice to come. Thanks, guys.
Thanks, guys.